Joyeeta Chatterjee is an academician with an overall experience of 26 years that includes 25 years in academics and a brief stint in the industry. Area of marketing, MBA with dual specialization in the marketing and HRM from Department of Business Administration, Guwahati University. She has been trained in design thinking from KPMG India at Mumbai and also in developing sustainable business practice from the Harvard Business School online. Her area of specialization is marketing, and currently she is working as a professor and HOD marketing and co-chairperson placement at NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai. So today she is conducting the session on human-centered design. So without wasting the time, I request ma'am to take over the session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sujata. Good morning to all the participants. I hope I am audible.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So let me just. Please let me know whether the screen is visible.
Yeah. Yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. I hope it is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So good morning once again to all of you and wish you a very happy new year. So we will be talking about human-centered design thinking. So as the previous session, I understand I had joined a little early. So Professor Sangra had already explained a lot about design thinking. I will also start from where he has left and then we'll take you further. So my session will include a bit of brainstorming session. Then we will go with some exercises, then concepts, then again I'll bring some exercises, and we will take up some real cases, and as far the time and other things are concerned, we'll try to do certain things here. So actually design thinking classes are very successful if conducted offline, but understanding the current situation, we are doing it on a remote basis. So I'll try to make it as much as interactive as possible. I will need your support also, your cooperation also for making this better. So we start first with a small brainstorming exercise. I assume you will close your eyes. So if you can close your eyes and imagine you are standing in a big open field under a blue sky. Today, Mumbai sky is not very blue, but okay, we can imagine. And in next 3 seconds, you will be taken to moon. You'll be blasting around moon. So the time starts now and you will be spending around 15 seconds there. 3, 2, 1. And you are taken off to moon. I hope you're closing your eyes. So 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it's time back. Now we land back on Earth. Zoom. And we are back on Earth. So this entire exercise, the small exercise, was based on our imagination. So I'll ask you some questions and I would want you to give me some answers. So, what was going on in your mind while you were blasting near the moon or on the moon? Anybody can answer, anything can come. Do not have any hesitation whether I'll answer this and somebody will make fun of me. Nothing like that. The beauty of design thinking is you can speak anything. Please.
Hello, ma'am. Mm.
Yeah.
I experienced that jumping feel due to gravity
Okay.
there on the moon surface.
Wonderful. Some more experiences. Some more experiences. Yes, please open up. Whatever you might have experienced. Did you see the blue sky? Could you see the moon better? We see it from Earth every day. What was your experience? कुछ भी, you can say anything. कुछ भी बोल सकते हो आप. Yes. We all are faculty here. No hesitation. Come on.
Everybody is commenting in the chat box, ma'am.
Okay, I think I'm not able to see that.
I think your presentation is in application mode.
Ah,
So is it possible that, okay, everybody is giving the answer. I
okay.
saw the earth from the moon, lightweight,
Okay. Okay.
happy feeling of being there, felt like
Okay.
flying.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So the screen is still visible. I just changed something. I hope the screen is still
Yeah,
visible.
yeah, yeah. It's visible. It's
Okay.
visible.
Okay. 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 Did you wear a space suit? Normally, we have in our imagination with the people who go to space, they wear a particular dress. Did you wear a space suit?
Yes, answer is given yes.
Okay. Did you have hands up, just like a Superman or Superwoman?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Great. 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 Okay, so we'll go back to the next exercise. Again, a small one. And I would prefer if you can speak up. If you just can unmute for a second and speak up. Uh, the next exercise is use the first letter of your name. Sorry. Use the first letter of your name and add a positive word to this jar. For example, my name is Joyeeta, and I can say J for joy. It's there in my name also. So J for joy. Anybody name starts with S. So I know the faculty coordinator here, Dr. Sujata. Her name starts with S. So it can be one positive word for her is smile. So if you can just say something using your first letter, I would prefer you can say.
Madam, we are still showing the slide third number, not fourth one.
Can you see the jar?
No.
Okay. Just again.
Yes, no.
Now you can see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So the jar, and you have to use your first letter.
Yes, again, it is super.
Super. Okay, great.
Yeah, so my name is Neha. So from S, I am say shine.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Good going.
My name is Saili. It's a
Yes.
surprise.
Okay. Surprises are always good.
My
Okay.
name is Vishali and
Uh,
V for victory.
Wonderful. Some more.
Hello, my name
Yeah.
is Madhuri and
Uh-huh.
M for melody.
Beautiful.
Hello.
Kalpana
Yes.
for knowledge.
Wonderful.
Chaya for care.
Okay. Yes. Any more?
Suresh for satisfaction. Satisfaction.
Great. Great. Any more?
Vrishank for victory.
Sorry, I could not hear. There's some noise in the background.
Vrishank for victory.
Okay. That's a second victory. Okay.
Yeah, it's Pushkaraj for perfect.
Oh, great. Okay. So we move on. We move on to the next. We still continue with word game, and this is a Japanese word game. If you can mute the noise, some noise is coming.
Participants, please mute your mic.
There's a Japanese game, a word game. It is a chain kind of a game. So last letter of the previous word will lead to the new word. So some examples were given. And when we give the first letter, then it is given with some thought behind. So first letter here it shows is apple. The last alphabet of apple, E, gives to egg, and then you can continue. So can we have some participation here? We need to have some participation here also. Apple, egg.
Okay. Game.
Game. Okay. The game's last alphabet is E.
Elephant.
Oh, wonderful. Elephant. Okay.
Table.
T. Table. Okay.
Energy.
Energy. Why? Why?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. So we have got some words: apple, egg, elephant, energy, table, yellow. Can we join these words together? I mean, how can we put those words together in a particular situation? So if we say a breakfast table, where we are eating eggs in the morning, we are also eating fruit. So one of the fruit can be apple, and it's table. So breakfast table, apple, egg, which will give us energy. We can play some game, some connected with elephant game or something. And yes, yellow. So it can be yellow apparel, yellow dress I'm wearing or anybody is wearing, or yellow juice. It can be mango. Yellow fruit can also be mango, or yellow again connected with the yolk of egg. It can be yellow with custard. So there are many ways we can connect the dots. So can we have another round of this? Any word you can pop up, think, and then can we have another round of 5 to 6 collective words? Anybody, any word, any random word under the sky.
Smile.
Smile. Okay. So from smile, we take the last alphabet E. E.
Experience.
Eager.
Experience. Experience again E, and somebody has already said
Energy.
eager. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Energy.
Eager, R. You have to eager. So eager says R.
Real.
Real. Okay.
Empathy.
Empathy. Okay. So what were the words? Smile,
Eager,
experience, eager,
real,
yes,
and empathy.
empathy. Okay. So, smile is always infectious. Smile, a real, genuine smile, will give a positive experience. So, real smile, giving experience. And if we get such kind of a experience once in a place where we would love to go, maybe to a salon, maybe to a restaurant where somebody is receiving us with a smile, not only with restaurant, not only at a salon, but in our day-to-day any place where we are reciprocated with smile, we get a positive energy, positive experience, and this gives us eagerness to come back again to that particular place. So here we can again connect the dots. So this you can apply it in your real life. You can take this as a sequence in our day-to-day learning or whatsoever interaction. Another one is generating ideas. So when you hear the term banking, what does it come into your mind? Banking.
Audit.
Audit, okay.
Saving money.
Audit,
Credit
saving,
and debit,
Transactions.
savings, money, credit, debit, transactions, ticket,
Online.
online banking. Yes, this is what we're doing since so many years now.
Loans.
Yeah. Sorry?
Housing loans.
Sorry. Loans.
Education
Okay.
loans.
Okay. Fine. Loans. All sorts of loans. We receive so many phone calls in a day. Loans. Yeah. Anything else?
Demand draft.
Queue, long queue.
one second, DD and
Queue,
withdraw.
draft, withdraw. Okay. Great. Okay. We have got quite a list of words. I was looking for something else and nobody said that. We can also say, I was banking on you, your efforts, your trust. So, banking always need not be the financial transaction, but dependable. I was banking on you. I was depending on you. So many times there can be such kind of words which we may use or we can use, which has got some other meanings also, some other positive meanings. So yes, banking, whatever you have said are 100% correct, but I was trying to connect it in a different way. So caring, empathy, banking, those kind of things are also synonymously many times you are being used in that way. Anyways, so you can take out many other words in that way. So I'll not use any more examples now. Let me go ahead. So we'll go with the definitions and technicalities. I understand it was also briefed in the first session, but still I will give little bit of my thoughts on that and we'll carry it ahead. So when we say design thinking, it is whatever we had twisted our minds, the way we think, how we are thinking. So, iterative process in which we seek to understand the user. User can be we, our students, our parents, the day-to-day transactions that we have in our real life. So it can be anybody. So understand the people with whom we interact, the challenges that come across. Can we assume some of the challenges and redefine problems in an attempt to identify some alternative strategies and come forward with some solutions to that problem, because we try to redefine. So for example, we all are teachers and we have online methods of teaching since last, now I can say almost 2 years now. Initially, when it started, very few of us had the experience of conducting classes online. It was totally new. Suddenly, we didn't get time to develop ourselves on that. But while we started using it, we gathered strength to use this, we learned the tools, and by this time, many of us have mastered the art of conducting classes online. There are difficulties, there are challenges. So we can say we are the users. We need to understand how we are using. Yes, many times many authorities have praised many stakeholders, COVID workers and all. Teachers, fortunately or unfortunately, did not get that kind of a thing. But I would say entire world was stopped, but the teaching continued. And we need to get back to ourselves, and we need to understand what kind of difficulty we can face and how we overcome. The online platforms that we are using today, they have also received a lot of feedbacks. They have also assumed had that assumed some challenges the new practices are facing, and we can see a lot of developments that had taken in the interface of those platforms that we normally use. For example, I would say Zoom. How Zoom has developed in the last few months, giving us the opportunity to use this to the maximum possible way. It has given developed its maximum potential. It is continuing to develop. Some say breakup rooms, then some whiteboards, and giving us the facilities to use the screens in some other way and experience the platform in a better way. So it is continuously developing. So when we say continuously developing, it is this iterative processes. We are open to feedback. It is a process, but it is not that once we have taken the feedback and once we have implemented certain idea, there is no room for improvement. No. In design thinking, as Professor Sangra said, it is a mindset. Definitely, it is a mindset. We need to be open to feedback, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. And when it is negative, yes, that's the way the real design thinking actually occurs. We need to be more solution based. We need to be more solution focused. So problems, yes, there are there, but we need to solve the problems. And solving problems can only happen when we understand the other person. We need to step into the shoes of the other person. And that's why this comes the term called empathy. We'll talk about it in the coming slides. So it is very important when we talk about design thinking, we need to have hands-on working experiences, and then we'll understand the process better. So taking ahead, we say that it is an innovative way to solve the problem. So it is best suited, design thinking is best suited with the problem which is not very clearly structured. It suits with ill-structured problems, as it is said, and it allows people to deep dive. So with a given problem, we allow, the process allows the stakeholders of design thinking, who the users are. Are the students? Are we the users of mobile phone? Are the travelers of a particular airline services? Are the patients of hospitals? Or the students of educational institutions? Government has announced NEP 2020. How we can implement that NEP in a better way so that students get a real learning experience. So when we say real learning experience, we mean to say critical thinking is applicable, assurance of learning is possible, and how the learning actually is taking place. Can we see the results also in between? Whatever we are teaching, is the learning going inside the head? It's not like parrot kind of learning and reproducing it. Even the question papers and the answer sheets need to be evaluated with certain thought process. So all the modern accreditation also thinks from that point of view. NEP also is thinking from that point of view. So we can apply design thinking in our course curriculum, in our day-to-day session plans, whatever, anything. It can be to our minimum, smallest possible solution also. Like we have to do a paint job at our house. How can we use the process so that it helps me to choose the best color, also helps me to work out the entire thing at a least possible time consumption, because I don't have so much of time to think only on house painting. There are so many other things to do, how many people to be employed here, etc., etc. So which things to be shaken first, second, third, fourth. So everything, the design thinking can be applied. So we need to go to that field and identify the real insights. So if you're talking from the student's point of view, we need to understand the the facts, the points, what the students are facing. It's in online mode of teaching. It's not only the teachers who are facing the challenges. Imagine or think from the student's point of view. Can we imagine going to college, sitting at home and doing college education? No. Thankfully, we were blessed that time not to have such kind of a pandemic. We experienced the real college. There are many students, particularly when I am teaching MBA, it's only a 2-year course. And in the last 2 years, yes, there was one batch in our campus and in many other MBA colleges that the students did not even get an opportunity to see which college they were in. Yes, they do take an opportunity sometimes to visit us personally, see the library and all. But as a teacher, we also need to empathize and bring life to that particular online module so that make things easier for them. It's very stressful sitting inside a room and continuously doing classes online. So how we are designing the time period, how we are designing creatively the timetable in a day-to-day real timetable. Can we bring in some change in the timetable itself? So all those things. And moreover, since we are living in an interconnected world, it is not possible for me or for any of us to conduct online sessions. Even this session is going on online. It's not possible to do things alone. It is entirely a interconnectivity. So silo working is not at all possible. So in that situation, we need more of design thinking because it involves teamwork. Design thinking is a teamwork. Let us take some words from them. IDEO is a renowned design company, and the executive chair of IDEO, Mr. Trim Brown, says it is a design thinking, or DT. I may be using DT many places. So it's a creative process, and it starts with questioning, not answer. So more the team questions, more they will be probing into the understanding of the user. More and more questions, because the first step starts with research, researching the user, understanding the user. So we can understand more when we question. Steve Jobs says most people make the mistake of thinking design like it's the outer cover. Sundar dikhna hona chahiye and those kind of things. Usually people perceive it to be like make it look good, but that's not design thinking. It is like how it works. We have to make the workable solution, the process. That's what is design thinking. So we will come to design thinking process in the coming slides, how it works. So as a mindset, it focuses on solutions. It is not problem focused, it is focusing on solutions. And to focus on solutions, we need to go deep into the that market, that pocket for whom we are seeking solutions. So if Zoom, for example, has improved their interface, then they must have interviewed many such users and understood the challenges the users are facing. If I intend to bring some changes in the course curriculum of my school, I need to interact first and foremost with the current stakeholders, that is the students, then the newly passed alumni, then some of our recruiters, also the parents, and then seek a solution. Students, the current students who are either facing class online or on a hybrid mode. Alumni who are already working, and they must be in a position to tell us certain courses that have helped them and certain courses were missing and we need to introduce in our course curriculum. Talk with the faculty, talk with the management. Is it feasible? Is it possible to introduce that particular course which the alumni is saying because they understand it is the need of the hour? Can we introduce this? How many hours will be required to teach that course? Do we have current faculty to teach that course? Is there any other platform where that course can be offered? Will that be a full credit course or half credit course or value added course? So all those kind of questions need to be probed before implementing. So this is just an example of a course. It can be on anything. It can be on painting, it can be on toothbrush, it can be on bottles, it can be on anything. So focuses on the values. Design thinking says show how it works. Don't give lectures. Show the experimentation and embrace that experimentation if we find it suitable and feasible. Mindful of the process, how the entire process works. In certain process, in the flow chart, there may be some requirement that you need a break because some negative feedback has come. Then I should not be dejected. Oh my God, I got a negative feedback. My entire process went wrong. No. If
Madam,
I'm
just a
having,
minute.
yeah,
Sorry for interruption. Rasika Naik have some doubt.
yes, please.
Rasika ma'am, please unmute your mic and please ask the query.
Madam, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
It was by mistake, madam. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So since design thinking flows in a particular way, there are chances that there will be some kind of problems that can come. Problems, that is the negative aspects, will also pop up. So when somebody, if I am starting, for example, in a process, and if I get a negative feedback, then it should not be that I stop my work. Rather, I should go probe why negative feedback, what was the problem. So a lot of questions need to be there. Why, what, how it can be solved. So that clarity needs to be there before coming up with a prototype. So these are some words that are very common: empathy and prototype and iteration. So prototype comes much later. Here I'm trying to understand. And when I'm trying to understand, I'm gaining more and more empathy, either from the students, either from the customers, whatever work I'm doing. If it is customer, that is the business people will do, or it can be day-to-day user. So it is basically a mindset. So it can be applied to any of us at any time, how we are going ahead with a particular research or any particular problem statement. So this is the step. If you see the picture, empathy, then define, then ideate, then prototype and test. So it helps us in the research, in the information gathering to know more about the users. Users can be faculty, users can be colleagues, users can be my neighbor, it can be some NGOs, the people living in the NGO, it can be students. And more I understand, more I get to know about them. And when I get to know more about them, I step into their shoes and start seeing things. And then I define the segments of the society there, or the levels of the particular my consumers or my users. So levels can be, if I define, if I'm researching on the students, then there will be when we get students, we get engineers, non-engineers, CAs, and so on and so forth. So we can define some segments. Engineering students who come for management course, non-engineering students also come for management course, but then there are segments here. Science students, art students, then there will be CAs, chart accountants. So they are specializing in a particular segment. Then another small segments also come here is some medical background students, biotechnologies, dentists, and some MBBS also. So all this will form a different group. If you do individual, 1, 2, 3, 4 teachers, then I can define persona, define A persona, define B persona. And in this case, this is define A group, B group, C group. And I get to know their perspectives. Engineering students will be having difficulty in certain aspects, which need not be the same as the CA students, or which need not be the same as the science students. So each of them will have their own different perspectives. So here, when I interact with them, I try to come forward with some ideas. And along with me, there will be some more team members also interacting with different groups. So maybe I'm interacting with engineering group, another colleague of mine is interacting with science students, another with art students, so on. And all 3 or 4 of us interacting with different groups of students will come forward with 10 different ideas. And then there will be brainstorming. And then we'll see which can be workable. Somebody says, this is not workable, madam. So in that case, I need to go back to the engineering group again and probe further, ask more questions. So this process is a very, quite a lengthy and time-taking process. And then we shot down some ideas and come forward with a prototype. Prototype is a miniature kind of a thing where we say that after brainstorming things, this is something which we propose. And if there is some other level above us, we'll take their approval and we'll go for testing. So just like we go for product testing, so this will go for product testing. So this is actually the design thinking process, which I'll again explain as a flow chart. How many questions will come here? So far, any question, because prototyping is something where ideating and prototyping is something where the creativity flows. A lot of sketching, lot of iterating, lot of debates actually happen. So had we been doing this in a physical classroom, I would have asked you to create some prototyping. I would have given you some small properties, props, and I would ask you to do some prototyping also. But I'll try to do something more in a different way. So if you have any questions so far, I'm taking further now. We'll be going further. Any questions so far?
Yes, participants, if you have any question, please unmute your mic and ask the question. No questions, ma'am.
Okay. So again, we'll do some exercise, a small exercise. Can we put our hands like this? We have got two hands, and let us put it for 30 seconds, and we can have our own imagination for 30 seconds. We can keep something in between these two hands. Anything. Yes, done. So now I can ask some people, you can reply, what did you keep in between your hands? If you can reply, if you can unmute.
Yes, participant, please unmute and please give the answer. From my side, I feel that it is just hollow, but the stable both the hands.
Yeah.
After sun.
Sorry?
Yeah, Shubhangi ma'am said she imagined a seed.
Seed.
Seed, SEED.
Okay, wonderful. Seed.
Someone, Dipali, is saying that she feels diya.
Diya, lamp. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Dr. Mosmi.
Yes.
Asking for a word. Vachan
Yeah,
मांग
what?
रहे.
Anything, whatever you feel like holding in between these two hands.
That someone is asking for a word to the person next. वचन मांग रहे हैं कुछ करने का.
Okay, okay, okay. Vachan. Okay, fine. Okay. कुछ और अपनी इमेजिनेशन आपने क्या पकड़ के रखा है दोनों हाथों से?
Madan said someone is future. Anup said hopes.
Okay, wonderful. Very nice. Future.
Jyoti Gupta said my baby.
Wonderful. Okay. So, yes, there is no correct answer and no wrong answer. But yeah, all of you said some futuristic words. And usually women say baby, which Jyoti Gupta said. Usually I have done this exercise many times. So this is a common answer that comes from women, baby. Men say different things, but women always say baby. That's a new perspective I'm trying to draw. Whenever it is done, women say this. Another lady said seed, which means also life. Very interesting insights. Okay, so you can say anything, but this is something which I'm getting since we are doing a session on design thinking. So we are trying to explore the different thinking perspectives. Definitely, it can be vachan also, some word. Yes, I give you word that so, etc., etc., etc. Diya, again, yes, lamp, lighting, hope, future, very good. So since we are living in dark since last 2 years, we are hoping life will be better, future will bring good days. That's the prayers everybody is hoping. Okay, so moving ahead. This is the process, the flow chart that can be elaborated again into very, very complex way. Define the first step. What is the problem that we will work on? There can be many problems. Decide what issue you are trying to resolve. That is the first and important thing. Syllabus, painting, खाना क्या बनाना है, dinner party है, whatsoever. Decide what issue you are trying to resolve. Secondly, in your team, this is a team job. It can't be done alone. Design thinking can never be done alone. It's a team. So when the team is finalized, then they will try to work out on what is the issue. Then in that same underdefined thing, agree on who the audience is. So if the team is a member of 5, 10, so we shall be dividing, or rather, first of all, before dividing, who the audience is. Is it the women or men? Is it the children, boy children, boy child, girl child? Age group, college going students, engineering college going students, management B school students, science graduates. So agree on who the audience is. And then also define the age groups. And then what we are doing again will come here. What? So on that basis, we'll prioritize in terms of urgency. So again, we might have to reschedule, segment our audience. What is more urgent? Identify if you're working on a syllabus and a restructuring of the education thing, then before the next session begins, we need to work out, finish, and start implementing. So in that case, it's very urgent. Identify steps to make this process successful. So how will you do that? That depends on the team. How will you make this project successful? If it is a course structure, then who all you want to be the stakeholders? HODs, dean, director, some management people also need to be in the loop because you want this to be a successful project. Along with students, along with current students, along with past students, alumni, and many other members. Because when you take feedback from the alumni and then you want to work on a project, you need HOD's approval. HOD should understand why you are doing this exercise. Faculty, other faculty also need to understand why we are doing this. What is the urgency? Why such change? And in this due process, it is important to understand and establish the glossary of certain terms. So certain terms that are used in design thinking. So first glossary is DT, design thinking. Certain words will be using. UX, U is user, X is experience. Many times we will be finding HMW, how might we? So how might we is something which is used very much here when we define a problem. Then persona. Persona is something like an individual person. I am an individual, another person is an individual, both are teaching same subjects, but we are all different. Two sisters of the same family are different. So that what is the different? What is her goal, his or her behavioral things? What makes him more comfortable, etc., etc. So those detailing we need to do. So certain terminology, the more you use design thinking, you'll be coming across those kind of terminology. Then next stage is research. So for that, we need to review the past history. Past history is like how many times the syllabus have been revamped. How many times the syllabus have been revamped so far? If we are working on a syllabus. What was the previous practice? Were you allowed to do these kind of teamwork for syllabus practice? Maybe no. It was usually the top level academicians and all. This time also we are using the top level academicians, but we are going deep diving into the user profile and then bringing it in front of the top level academicians. Note the project reporters. Now, what is reporter or the investors here? Reporters are those who are doing the research and bringing in the feedback. They're investing time, they're investing money as well as their energy. Money because many times it may be required to go to the villages in the remote areas to understand certain issues. I'll tell you some examples in the coming slide. How people travel to far off land to understand what is the scenario in that particular market. You have to talk to the end users. For that, sometimes you may talk to them directly, sometimes you have to do telephonic interviews, sometimes you have to do FGD, that is the focus group discussions, and then bring their thought processes here. And also in this process, interview some opinion leaders whom you think, the team of DT thinks that they are opinion leaders or they are the thought leaders in that particular philosophy. So if you can bring some insights about the renowned design thinking practitioners, if you can follow some philosophies, blogs of the renowned design thinking house. IDEO has a lot of materials. These are available on the Google. So if that can be also considered to be a thought leader, and their intake, their insights can also be taken. Ideate, identify needs and motivations of the end users. What motivates them? What motivates a student to conduct while taking case studies? We are finding huge problem these days, particularly in the online mode, to conduct case studies. Case studies are usually lengthy, so lengthy case studies are avoided, particularly in the online mode. Then what actually motivates them for the case studies? Avoiding long, fine. Long case study we have avoided. We're taking small case studies. Then relevant case studies. Avoid as far as possible what is happening in America, England, Germany, and take those matters which are happening in the country, in the local markets, and show them with examples. Take the recent cases, recent conversations that are happening, and allow the students to do some critical thinking. Let them involve their mind. Give them some small project which they will be involving their minds to solve this. So generate ideas so that you can serve the end users better. So it is the faculty and the team who is working on that project. They need to work on, crack their brains to work out on a formula. So brainstorming sessions. Involve the faculty members here because a team has already done the research. Now the inputs that you got here, that needs to be told to the entire faculty members, and you bring in faculty here, all other faculty here who may not be involved in your design thinking process. Ask them to do brainstorming and many ideas will come. A, B, C, D, some may be good, some may be bad, but DT practitioners are not supposed to be judging those. During brainstorming, if you have some new conversation coming, we'll take it, but we'll try to stick to those particular issue that we have taken here in the first step. And many ideas will come. 20 faculty may come with 20 different ideas, or maybe 200 ideas may pop in. Now is the time how we can design a new syllabus or new program structure, introduce some new course. What are those? So here we can use this, combine, expand, refine data ideas. We may combine 5 ideas into one, 3 ideas into one, or delete some ideas. There will be several cutting, scratching going on. I'm sure you must have seen those post-its, the sticky notes that happens in a design thinking workshop. So a lot of iteration, reiteration, cutting, scratching, many things will come forward. And we can also seek feedback from the different groups. So if I am into a group which is dealing with engineering students only, I can take feedback also from this team which was interacting with science students, another group which is interacting with art students, which are interacting with art students, so that we get some different feedback too. Are they saying the same thing, or more or less the same thing, or totally different? And we can see which can be implemented. And again, it is saying reserve judgment and maintain neutrality. That is for the team who is working on design thinking. And then now it is the time to choose. Review the entire objective, what we wanted. Did we come close to it? Or if we see some many negative things are coming, then it's time again we bring in some more ideas. Or if we see some close to it, if we see some ownership, if we see some team reflecting with emotions, in that case there is ownership. So we see how practically viable and feasible it is, and we can go ahead. So go ahead finally will be taken by the senior academicians, because here it is not only the design thinking team will work, but also their approval is required. Better when we include in the design thinking team some of the top level decision makers, then things becomes very easier, so execution happens very fast. So this is in detail the process. If you have any questions here, I'm happy to take.
Any questions, participants? Yes, Deepa, please unmute your mic and please ask.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I have a question. When we are defining or we are doing research, how is end user involved in the process, or how can we make an active participation of the end user at this stage so that we are on the right track or we are designing in the right direction is ensured?
Okay, thank you. So depends what is our topic, what is the issue that we are researching. If we are researching on new education policy and the implementation of NEP in our course structure, then our end users obviously will be students, the current students, and certain faculty, also the alumni. Why? Because it is involving them, it is their course. Teachers also, because it is the teachers who will be teaching, so they will be also the end users. In case we would like to understand some different issues, say for example, I'll give you one example which I'll talk later, but let me give you the example. There was a team of design thinking students who were learning design thinking from a international university, and they had taken their project to a next level. So their project was they need to come up with some new idea for developing or underdeveloped country. So the international university was located in United States, and they need to develop something unique for underdeveloping or developing country. So they identified that every year many newborn babies die premature death, or rather I would say there are many premature births, and premature births require some specific care. So specific cares, the facilities and everything are available in the developed countries. But what about the lesser developed countries? Do they have that facility? So for that, they did some preliminary research, history, sample collection, all those things. So, and then later they found that certain parts of the country, certain parts of the globe, particularly in the Asian countries or the developing, some of the developing countries, there are a lot of issues. So the team thought of visiting those. So visiting means is leaving from his US university to a place in Nepal, and that the entire trip was funded by the university because this is a massive project. So then they went to Nepal, visited some posh hospital there, and believe you me, there are incubators which are donated by the some rich people there in the posh hospital, but these were lying unused. Why? Because the mothers of those premature babies, they were staying far away, far from where the actual posh hospital is. So that facility does not extend in the rural side. Number one. Number two, the mothers of those babies, they find it difficult to travel to that posh hospital in Nepal. Difficulty, why? Because one is the social taboo. Immediately you cannot travel with your newborn baby, in that too in this condition. Number one. Number two, economic conditions, and they have the issue of transportation problem. So in such case, they thought of coming forward with a embrace warmer incubator. See, those students were engineering students, computer experts, and legal experts, and all. None of them had the medical background, but they thought of coming up with that kind of an idea, incubator, where you will not need any electricity and all. It will get charged on its own with the body temperature. So they decided that, and they did all those testing, researching. They got to know the real problem only when they reached Nepal. So that's the example. I think I have answered your query. We need to first identify what is the issue. If your issue is relevant to faculty, you need to question the faculty. If it is both faculty and students, then you question the student and the alumni and the faculty. If it is somebody else, then you need to go to that deep diving is essential so that you can understand their problem. Ultimately, it is they who are the end users. I hope I answered your query.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I'm proceeding further with a quote from the CEO of IDEO. Design thinking is not limited to a process. It is an endless expanding investigation. It goes on and on and on. So if I say I have already designed an incubator, my work is done. No, I need to again go into the research team, find out how this incubator is working, not working, working good in Nepal, but may not work good in some other parts. Many things may happen. So it's a continuous process. So when we are talking about human-centered design, it is a problem-solving method that requires to put the consumer. So when I say consumer, it is not only marketing point of view, it is any you and me or whatever. We are all consumers of knowledge. So we are faculty and consumers of knowledge. That is, our needs should be thought first while understanding and tackling a issue. So to use this HCD, human-centered design, HCD, again a glossary. So for the creative process, we need to understand these consumers deeply, whosoever is the consumer. It can be kid, it can be school going children. Empathize with the real problem they face. Their span of attention is very less. Even the span of attention of our students also these days are very, very less. So we need to understand, empathize, and restructure our course plan that way so as to generate their interests for us some time, and in between take some breaks. And what do we do in those breaks? So make them also exercise, make them use their brains. So how we are working on the entire project, that's what how we need to empathize with the other person. So human-centered design means creating products to solve the struggles the user, the consumer faces. It is humanizing the technology so that both of us have a better life. So in business, if you talk from the business point of view, from the brand's point of view, Yes, many brands starting from Apple, Google, airlines, all of them these days are thinking from the customer's point of view, designing their products that way, and using some flavor, fragrance, designing the product packaging such a way so that customers find it comfortable to hold the product. So, and it is also they need to understand whether it is viable. Yes, most of the cases, whatever little innovation they do with their packaging and all, they are all viable. People desire to reuse some bottles, and hence some cooking oil comes in certain shapes, certain bottles. It is the Indian mindset to reuse those very attractively designed bottles are being, and that too in Tetra Pak, not shisha ka bottle. Glass bottles break, but Tetra Pak lasts for some time. You can reuse it. And then talking about technology is embedded these days. Their experiences also are measured. So many such experiences are noted. We have something called review pages. TripAdvisor is one such example where we review our experiences, and many others buy in the sense, read and accept that, take that seriously. Things are changing. This entire things are called process innovation. So this is something, it's a humanizing the entire effort. So it's not limited only to business. It can be applied to our day-to-day things. Stop me wherever you find difficulty. So the effort, the main aim of HCD, that is the human-centered design, talks about three aspects, that is desirability, feasibility, and viability. Desirability, what makes sense to people and for people. What makes sense to students and for the students, to the faculty and for the faculty. So if you are proposing something, is it making sense to them, first of all? And then how will they be benefited? If that question's answer is sought, then the next question is it feasible? And particularly keeping COVID thing in mind, and then we are running classes mostly on the online ways, or some of us have started on a hybrid mode. Is it feasible? Is it foreseeable in the future? What about sab kuch theek ho gaya and then we start calling the students in the offline mode? So what will happen to this? Can this be used later? If you are investing huge on business simulations or simulative classes, can we use this later? Yes, why not? Sometimes we can take classes on that platform, number one. Number two, we can also do faculty development program using that mode. We can do some other workshops, MDPs, FDPs, etc. on that thing. So definitely that mode, if it is simulation, we can use it even if the COVID thing goes on, we start with offline classes. If it is incubator, can this incubator, when we are spending some amount, so that incubator which I was saying is not very costly, so somewhere around 500 to 1000 rupees is something which a person needs to invest. Can this be used later if somebody requires? Yes, that can also be used. Viability, what is likely to become a part of the sustainable business model, which I already said. Can this be used later? Will that be acceptable by the management? Some amount of funding will also be required. So what will be the source of funding and all other things needs to be worked out. And then we can proceed with the humanized way of design thinking. Okay, so we are going deeper. So if you have any questions, you can stop me. Otherwise, I'm going little deeper with the human-centered designing. So it follows three processes. Inspiration is the first phase, ideation and implementation. So basically, it comes from the core thing which we talked in the earlier slide. So when we say inspiration, it requires to collect on the ground reality. That is the ground reality. That is the research. So choose a design, as it says, choose a design and the challenges associated with that. Plan your research methodology. Build a interview guide. What is that interview guide? What kind of questions are you supposed to be asking? So maybe the team leader can help them, help the entire DT team to work on what questions need to be done. And sometimes some additional research methods can also be applied and capture those learnings. Capture those learnings means the feedback that comes. So engage with the target group. TG is the target group here or the target audience. So it can be anybody who is the target audience. If a company who is manufacturing tomato ketchup, if they want to do some kind of research, they need to identify on a random basis, they need to choose their target group. So it can be housewives, it can be working ladies, it can be college going students, and need not always be women. It can also include men, because in the current days we have seen men also are involved in using ketchup. When I say ketchup, it's not only consuming it with food, it is also using it while we cook. So both men and female, men and women, both use tomato ketchup. So target audience needs to be identified and creatively engaged. So we need to find out maybe some questions like what makes the user happy? So in this case, consumer of tomato ketchup. It can be students. It can be school going boys. What makes them frustrated? What do they do first in the morning? We need to understand their pattern of living. What do they devour? How do they devour content? So content here means how do they receive messages, advertisements? Do they also see movies, advertisements? How? Well, how do they devour here means consuming the content? Are they exposed to advertisements? Do they take newspaper advertisements, mobile advertisements? They are heavily on social media, or they are also on the OTT platform. What makes up most of their time? Classroom, or along with classrooms, virtual classroom, I said. So is it classroom, virtual classroom, OTT, internet, social media, what? So many such questions will be there. These are only few. And it is very, very important to understand their viewpoint. And other different methods can be like you can prepare a set of questionnaires and give it, circulate it among the known circles. And you can also do focus group discussions. Yeah, sometimes some of the the end users require some incentives. So we can give some incentives in the form of membership of some libraries or some kind of reading material, so whatsoever, depending on what we can give. And after the research is done, a list can be prepared with the team of whatever foundation, whatever information that is gathered. There may be very small, not so important, I may think, but many times that finding can also be important. Major problems, whatsoever struggles, whatsoever good things, everything. Everything that needs to be captured by this team. So either you go to Nepal or go to Bangladesh or go to the slums of Mumbai or within our college campus, within our homes, within our society, everywhere. Everything is workable, whatever be the issue. Or maybe is required to understand the retailer's viewpoint. We can interview the retailer also. Take appointment first and then things will work. Many times they hesitate, but we'll have to motivate them. We'll have to incentivize them. कि आपका कुछ हम छापेंगे, आपका व्यू पॉइंट्स लेंगे, आपका इंटरव्यू आएगा. This kind of things we can tell so that we will be successful in our effort. And we need to capture the learnings So either we record it through emails, or these days we all carry smartphones. So we can open the recorder and get this recorded. And then gradually we move on to the next phases, which are ideation and implementation. So no idea is bad idea. So ideation, I already said, I'll not waste much time here. So from the research that we get, from the inspiration that we get, we'll try to make a long list with the team, with the different teams that has been deputed to collect information, so that a prototype can be prepared. And implementation is like, how might we go ahead to implement? If I used to be there, then how would I want the product to be working for me? So basically, in simple language, if I step into the shoes of my son, child, whatsoever, how would he be wanting such thing to happen for him? So that thing, that needs to be brought in the team of the design thinking executors. So Don Norman, who is actually a scientist, is known for his cognitive science and the usability engineering. He says that for human-centered design, the effort or the process should be people-centered. Solve the right issue. Right issue can be identified only when we probe our target group. So the target group found in the incubator example, the researchers found that despite everything in place, the incubators were not used. Hospital was posh, despite the locality being under the developing country, but the hospital was the posh one, but the actual users were not using it. And babies are dying there. To can save life if we take the right thing at the right place. So we need to systematize the entire thing. So that right problem can be identified when we deep dive and understand, go into the deeper problems and find out. So very small, simple interventions can also be a big thing. I'll show you some examples in the next slide. So it has to be following certain processes, people centered, identifying the right problem and solving it, keep it within the system of design thinking, and try to find out a very small solution. Very simple intervention can also make a big change in the human lives. So I'll show you with examples, then you'll find it better. I'm sure you must have come across this kind of a situation. In a door, push pull बहुत बार लिखा हुआ मिला है. Many times. Deliberately we have used push push 2 times, pull pull 2 times. But often we find push and pull. And it creates some kind of trigger in our minds. It creates some kind of biasness in our human brains. So in this case, push and pull part of the door are fitted with handle. And this is what we see mostly. So what the Don Norman, the person whom we talked about, what he suggests is, in case of push, why don't we remove the handle? Because push does not require the handle. We can just push it. We can push it with our hands, thumb, elbow, knee, or sorry, the foot. Whereas in case of pull, we need the handle. Very simple. Very simple, but many times we don't think. But for a fraction of seconds, it creates some different trigger in our minds. I don't know whether you have experienced this, but I have experienced it many times. It happens. So you can see here UX. UX here means the user experience. And Don Norman is a renowned user experience researcher. So he suggested this kind of a example. And hence this is known as Norman door problem. Solution for Norman door problem. Some more examples, especially targeting the young minds, children, school-going children. if we can bring in this kind of electric switchboards, and you see this switchboard says switch on for less than an hour, and this, you see the symbols here, love symbol and smiling and green in color. So it was switched on for only some time, that is only when it was required, and it is green. Switched on for more than 2 hours, sorry, 4 hours, and the expression is also changing, and it is orange in color. Not very happy the way it has been used. It's not that all 4 hours I'm using it, but the switch was on, and this was switched on for more than 8 hours. Many times it happens. We try to teach our children also. It works, it doesn't work, it depends. So if this kind of switchboards are being made and sold in the market, which will automatically glow that way, green, orange, red, that this kind of learning will go much easier to the smaller children's minds. And they understand because they're seeing some expressions here, they're seeing some colors here. Then I think many of us have used many of the applications. One such is Healthify Me. All the guidance will be there. Now, why only Healthify? There are many such kind of apps. Let us talk about those Uber apps, Ola apps, and you must have seen they have also modified. Those who have been using Uber, Ola, and similar kind of applications on their mobile phone, the application, the style, the user interface, which was there when it was introduced for the first time, and now there is so much of change. And particularly with COVID thing coming in, they are also following all the COVID rules and protocols. So everything is built in the application. So keeping recent things that are in mind, the product is being offered. So product, it can be a intangible product to the service, the interface. Another very common example used for the children. Children are told to brush they need to brush every morning. They don't like. Now you see kids toothbrush. Problems. Kids' hands are small. They hold toothbrushes inside their fist, while adults use it in their fingers. So they dislike brushing. Solutions: make this handle fat with smaller bristles and introduce something which is relevant to themselves. They get used to with this kind of cartoon characters. These are some accessories also that the toothbrush manufacturers use. Oral-B started doing that, and many other brands also started implementing that. And target users, the children. We all are aware how children behave as far as the brushing of teeth is concerned. Another example, tomato ketchup. It's not only tomato ketchup, many such kind of liquid products that we use it for our kitchen. We find the bottle is inverted, and the structure of the bottle is not glass bottle. It's a Tetra Pak. Why? Hard to get full ketchup out of the normal bottle. Hard to handle the bottle with one hand. And also it is unbreakable. So design inverted standing bottle. Design bottle for easy handling with one hand. Many times it happens the users are using in a different. Beer bottles and many other bottles. So usually these bottles need a bottle opener. Now you can see every time you do not go to search a bottle opener, there is a ring attached to it. You can pull the ring and bottle opens up fast. Chips, stacked packaging. So normal packaging can't be reused. This kind of packaging, this kind of chips, you cannot consume all at a time. You can consume few and you can keep it. The product will lay fresh. You can easily pull out one. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to pull it from the packet. It is not being commercially fully made popular, but it is being introduced. and the size of the snack is also slightly reduced so that the consumer can finish it within 2 bites. So much of thought process is implemented in between. Now, this is what I was talking about, the infant warmer. So I told you about the story. It's about the complications of premature birth. The team was electrical engineer, computer scientist, and MBA students. Nobody was health expert. So they got a sponsored a trip to Nepal to deeply understand the unmet needs associated with incubator. So let us see how the incubator looks like. You see how the incubator looks like. This is the incubator that they have created because they are all engineers and technically qualified team. They knew how to market this also. One of them was MBA. Now, one of this child was born in the seventh month, kept inside the incubator. His parents actually discarded him, and then this child was found in a orphanage in I think in one of the places of Nepal, and then later this child was saved, and this is the child, and he was later adopted by a family in United States of America. This is one example. There are many such kind of cases. So many times they are discarded, many times they die because such things were not available. But with this thing available and with proper marketing, this is not very costly, and it can be reused for any other child also once this child grows bigger. So this needs to be popularized, this needs to be marketed well, and it does not require the electricity and other things. But this is another very unique concept followed by Bank of America. They say that every time you do transaction with the debit card of Bank of America, and whatever the remaining change you have, that change will be going to your rounded off, and it will be going to your account, your BOA account. So this is possible only for those who had the BOA bank account and who were the members of the debit card. So it was the Keep the Change program that was introduced in the year 2004, and the challenge was given by IDEO, the renowned design thinking firm. I also have the video, so if time permits, definitely I will show you that video, how this thing actually went off a big success. So they tested it on 1600 participants. They did an online survey, and they found that people were liking this idea, and within a span of 2 to 3 years they launched it in 2005, and within a few years, couple of years time, they could see huge amount of membership of the Bank of America. That is, in a way, they did a good marketing, but with a change in the thought process. So if I do a transaction of 75 rupees and some other paisa, so that maybe that paisa will be wholly said, instead of that 50 paisa, it will be 1 rupee, and that 1 rupee will be going to my account, or 2 rupee will be going to my account. So small changes that happens, that will go to the bank account of my BOA account. So likewise, they tried to market that, and the name of the campaign was Keep the Change campaign. Any questions?
Participant, please, if you have a question, please unmute the mic. No as such, ma'am.
Okay. I hope I'm not going too fast.
No, madam, no.
Okay. Now, this is one example, a great dinner party for friends. So, we have invited, maybe it's our alumni meet. All of us come from different college, and we organize, say, let's say we are organizing one such kind of a dinner party for our friends of our alumni time, of our time. So maybe we are meeting after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and one of us thought to give it a dinner party at the uh, at a particular place, maybe at a residence. So let us talk. Let us say, for example, me. So some of my friends have come to Mumbai, and I thought, let me take them. And some of my friends are in Mumbai, so how do I plan the entire activity mix? So I need to, if I'm using design thinking for this, because I want to make it memorable for the rest of our lives. At a certain age, we are living in difficult time. So like, let us make this event something to look forward to. So I take the help of those friends who are based in Mumbai, and I do some kind of brainstorming, and we plan a lot of activities, some games hoga, music hoga, and guess what kind of food will be prepared. There are many who will be preferring vegetarian foods, there are non-vegetarian food, then some would prefer continental, some prefer Chinese, and many such kind of discussions may happen. And then we can make such kind of chart on a chart paper using stick it notes, post it notes, or simply using the sketch pen. I had asked you to bring sketch pen, so we'll try to do some exercise. So this is an exercise already done. So it's a great dinner party for friends, and some symbolizing is done. So some says don't plan it, and some say okay, let's see, let us work it on. So then somebody says okay, we'll go for musical chair, we go for some games and some food items, how to go for food items. So how to make everyone gather, get to the table, some game, some treasure hunt. So teach them something. Somebody is talking about eat nuts. Somebody is saying write some activities, make them some more activities. Some other activities is crowded is better. Make them crowd, make a big crowd of all the people who come. Then some activity like kick the can. Somebody says have the dessert first, have it with memories, sit on the floor, indoor games. So whatsoever you want to do, plan it out. And does not mean that whatever we are planning, everything will work. So we'll come up with all sorts of wild ideas. So me and my 5 friends come with all the uh, crazy ideas. Some of them may be very good, some are very creative, some are not workable. But we all jot down here. And then we will sort out which one we can take it. And then we'll take out some prototypes. So finally, how many we will select, that will come in the next chart paper. What we have finally decided to do, how many things we pick up from here, how many we eliminate. And that becomes a activity. So this is one small activity that somebody had done for their get together. And somebody is also drawing a bus. That party continues because beyond this party, we'll go for an outing after this party. So party continues means should we plan that bus trip in the night itself? Or we plan the outing next day morning. So that's an extended party. So all those kind of things will be thought about. Okay, so we will go. Sorry. So we will do this exercise now. Since you have, I assume you have got plain papers, sketch pen, pen, whatsoever. So I'm sure you all use wallets, female or male. All we use our own wallets. So how do you use our wallet? Did it ever happen that we lost our wallet? When we go for different trips, if it is international trip, do we use the wallet in the same fashion that we use it here in our day-to-day life? Or may not be always international. Maybe we go out of Mumbai or out of our daily affair and go for some trip. How are we using our wallet? Which items do we keep there? Which items do we take out most often? And do you also think wallet is an emotion? So these are some pointers I have given. So you have to work out on designing a prototype of a wallet, showcasing your creative ideas to create a wallet. Each person will each person will show. So I request all of you, please use your blank page and pen. You are free to use any color pen, sketch pen, or whatever, and create a wallet. If you think that you need to develop more things in the existing wallet, you are free to use that. You are happy with your current wallet, you can show how many verticals it has inside, shape, size, etc. How does it look like? Or if this was gifted, you can show the emotions. What kind of emotions you had gone across while choosing this wallet, that also you can capture. So I give you some time, maybe around 2-3 minutes. You are free to design any way you like it. If you have any questions, that also you can ask. So I hope you are doing. I will see some of your wallets. You'll have to show me by opening up your camera.
Ma'am, if you are able to check the chat box, one of the question from Madan.
I'm trying to see. Wait. Somewhere I'm.
Shall I read the
Innovation,
question? Yeah.
Madan,
Innovation in
innovation in
education.
education as per design thinking.
Yeah.
How can you design? Okay, I'll answer to that a little later. I'm waiting for the wallet. Yes, can we see some?
Yes, participants, if your design is over, please turn on your camera and show the design. Yes, anybody? Once your design is over, please turn on your camera and show the design to ma'am. Yes, Archana ma'am, Gautami, anybody, please. Yes, anybody, please come forward to show the design. I hope everybody is still busy in the design.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
Deepa is there. Yes, Deepak Sinha, are you ready?
At least one, if I can see, I can understand. I know it's
Yeah.
not possible to see everybody because this is a virtual class.
Yeah. Yes, Deepak Sinha.
Hello, ma'am, my
Yes,
camera
Ganesh
is
sir,
not
please.
turning on. Huh. But just I can explain the design. Simple
Okay.
uh, integrated pocket is there with the shirt or
Mm-hmm.
pant,
Okay.
inside which there is a portable packet uh, with a number of boxes, that is our covers.
Okay. Okay.
uh, that is integrity is there, then inside it is portable, so if you want to take out, that can be taken out also well from wallet.
Okay.
And there are
Okay.
multiple packets wherein innermost is reserved for valuables like pan card or passport. Very simple
Okay.
design. This is
Okay. Good. Good. Very good. Deepak sir, if you can show. Oh, he's saying he does not have the permission to open up his camera.
Restriction, Deepak
Okay.
sir.
Oh,
Can you explain, Deepak sir,
Please
please?
try now. We have made him host. Please try now.
okay,
Yeah.
Deepak sir, please try.
Yeah, just a second, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm visible now. So sorry, I didn't had that much time. So I just tried
No
to
problem.
figure it out. So it is the first kind of thing, and I just wanted to make a hidden pocket over here. But I'm sorry, I don't have that much time. But I'll keep I was just thinking that it opens up from this side, okay, but I'll make some provision that this side there is a hidden pocket behind that. So
Okay.
majority of the people, they will try to open the bag like this, okay, but they'll hardly notice any at the back side mostly. So our
Okay.
things will be safe at this side, but it will take some time to make, ma'am. Right? I just tried it out.
Okay, I understand. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else would like to show? Otherwise, it's okay.
Supriya madam,
And
are you going to show? Yeah.
uh,
Supriya madam,
okay,
can you please explain?
Actually, I could make it this like this only in a short time of period. Actually,
that's fine. That's
uh,
perfectly fine.
this is the zip.
Yes.
This is the zip, ma'am, and
Yeah.
this is the inner part, and
Uh huh.
this is the outer part.
Uh
Okay,
huh.
the non means non necessary things can be kept here, and this is the like whatever we are doing means in companies. No, we have some hook to
Yes.
yeah. So like that arrangement we can do that
Uh huh.
using that hook or lock we
Uh
can
huh.
make it as a portable means likewise this is the inner part means pocket
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the outer part.
Hmm.
So this
Got
is
it.
the so
Nice. Nice.
likewise
Quite creative, huh? Very nice. It's looking nice. Yeah.
it will be get fold, so it
Yeah,
will look
it'll get fold. Yeah, it'll be
yeah, yeah.
smaller. Very
So it
nice.
will look
Very
like
nice.
this one, and here we will get the hook.
Great.
Yes,
Wonderful. Very nice.
likewise any this will be hook,
Hmm.
so
Very nice.
we can easily remove it and we can lock it also means
Ah, very nice. Very creative. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So I will proceed. So before proceeding, I would like to answer the question that was raised by Madan sir. Yes, design thinking seeks innovation and innovative solutions. So your question was about the public service institutions, IITs, IIMs, NITs, and all. So it has been seen that some of the IITs have already started courses on design thinking. IIMs also have got courses on design thinking. And those who are not having courses on design thinking, they are encouraging their faculty to take up workshops and participate and get enrolled for design thinking. This is one aspect. Secondly, if we want to use design thinking and implement it in our syllabus, yes, they also do such kind of, see, now with the NEP 2020, it is a mandatory requirement with the accreditation bodies coming in. It is a mandatory requirement to bring in some changes in the existing practices. So when we say existing practices, that was whatever processes that was there in our times. So things are changing. The global world says that professional education needs to make assessment of AOL, that is assurance of learning. So to map the assurance of learning, we need to follow certain set patterns which are laid down by the accreditation bodies, number one. Number two, the policies that are laid down by the NEP 2020. So for that, even if you do not use the term design thinking, but syllabus improvisation, innovation in the existing teaching pedagogy is changing, even for the public sector institutions as well as for the private sector institutions. So some of them are using the term design thinking in the educational revamping, some are not, but these are all talking towards the same or moving towards the same direction, that is improving the system of education. Okay, I hope I have answered my query. So I am going to my presentation, the last phase of my presentation. Sir, did you say something? Madan sir, I missed out. Switched on my screen and I think I missed out.
Thank you, madam. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
understood.
Okay. So some examples of how people use prototyping for designing wallets. So the way Madam had shown, somewhat similar in here, but her shape was more interesting. Some of them had used, so sir was, Deepak sir had used some papers and all. So you can see they are using, these are all actually examples of live workshops. In live workshops, आप लोगों को ये सब दिया जाता, but then we can't do it. So it's okay. We can't just go on saying we do what we don't have. So must haves for HCD, that is human centered designing, is the usability. If the product isn't usable, then there is no point designing it. Consumers will not have any good experience using the product, and hence product fails. So, and before I started my lecture, there was a question, even if despite using design thinking, many products fail. Yes, this is the reason. Many times it happens, it is all human people who are designing the product. So many times mistakes do happen, faults do happen, and many products do not succeed. So that happens, but usability needs to be seen first. Look, the look of the product. A visually appealing product creates a positive impression on the users. In certain cases, it can be consumers, and makes it more likely appealing than the others. So the bag, the small wallet that Madam has designed, had a very visually appealing look, and it would catch the eye of many. So such kind of look is very, very important when we design such kind of things. So the tomato ketchup bottle that we have seen, or the toothbrush that we have seen, which is visually very, very appealing for the target users, that is the small children. Feel emotions. So consumers won't like to use a product that makes them feel bad when they engage with it. How they feel while interacting with a product is essential to create a good user experience. We use word game, smile, experience, energy, uh, repeat purchase may also happen. Experience becomes good. When experience becomes good, I like to revisit the place again. Going to a movie, go to a movie hall, and you will come across with some bad experience, some fight or problem with car parking, these, that, then we don't like to visit that particular movie hall again. But vice versa happens. Very smooth, good car parking, good air conditioning, good sound system. Crowd was also good. Food inside the cinema hall was also good. Food is very important. And the kind of food that our children loves, youngsters love, all those varieties were there. So it is creating positive user experience, so that your entire experience is good. The food was served on your seat, and the time gap that you ordered and the food came was a very less time gap was there, so you did not wait, did not require to wait. So that feeling was good. So that's why when evaluating prototype happens, product designers who are practicing HCD needs to answer this question. Is the product useful and usable? Does the product look good? And do the users enjoy using it? When we go to salon, when we go to doctor's place, when we are required to wait for long, usually in retail outlets, we stand for long. So what was our experience, or what is our experience when we stand in a long queue? Nobody likes to wait in a queue. So what did we see? What else did we see? And then these are the 6 hats of design thinking. So when we say blue hat, it talks about the process. White hat talks about the fact. Red hat talks about the feelings.
Arpit ma'am, please.
So you see, there are three levels: process, facts, and feelings. So blue, white, and red. If you go on the other
Sorry. By mistake, I have muted Joyeeta madam. Joyeeta madam, please unmute yourself.
Joyeeta madam, please unmute the mic. Unmute the mic. We are not audible. Ma'am, please unmute the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have by mistakenly muted
No
you.
problem. No problem.
Arpit sir, do you have any query, please? Arpit Loya. Please go ahead, ma'am.
So I was talking about the 6 heads. So I think I'm having some problems also here. Is my screen visible?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just let me work it on. So what I'll do is, I think there's some problem here. If you can see if the screen is visible.
Not yet.
Okay. Is it visible now?
No. Yeah, it's loading now.
Okay.
Yeah, visible.
Now visible.
Okay. Okay. So this 6, I'll close the today's session with the 6 heads of design thinking. So 6 heads, that is the blue color head talks about the processes. Thinking about what kind of thinking is required, organize the entire process. White talks about gathering the facts and what do I know about the target audience and what do I need to find out. Red Hat talks about the emotions, the feelings. As a researcher, what is my feeling towards it? And when I am involved in the data gathering, what is the feeling that I could capture? Because both sides, the feelings need to be there because it's required to be empathetic. So to be empathetic, I need to understand the other person very, very well. And feelings, if I can able to understand the other person, exactly what he or she is trying to go through, it will impact my research also. So red hat signifies that feeling. Green hat talks about the creativity, possi- alternatives, possibilities, like the creative handbag, the wallet that we had seen. Here, the green hat was working. Yellow hat talks about the benefit. Sir was trying to show about a hidden pocket. That hidden pocket will show the benefit, the positive sides. And that positive sides need to be again marketed. Creativity also need to be marketed so that the market in the consumers, the users get to see the look, get to understand the usability, and then they will gradually accept the product. But since everything comes with a warning, so even a new idea comes with some kind of cautions or negative things, difficulties, weaknesses, dangers that can be associated with it. So, this, when we undertake a design thinking exercise, when we undertake a design thinking practice, always we need to keep in mind that we need to be cautious about the negative things. Okay, so I'll close this with one exercise. One exercise. So then we are meeting again on Wednesday. I'll start with this exercise. You can take a picture of this, or I will share this slide with Sujata madam, and you can take this exercise. Choose a process or journey that you want to map. Anything, right from planning any trip to dinner party to painting to making a chocolate, making a wallet, or maybe working on your course structure, whatever. Write down the steps. Make sure to include even small steps that may seem trivial. The goal is to get you to consider the nuances of the experience that you normally look or sometimes we overlook. Organize the steps into a map. Remember, we have seen that dinner party, so you'll have to show the map in the in a plain paper, or if you think that you would like to use the stick-its, the color post-its, you are free to use that. And look for insights. How does it proceed? Another surprising or strange, something new you come across. So there is no wrong answer. So you are free to use your creative sides. Okay?
Okay, I will share, ma'am. You just share to me.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any questions you have?
Now, participants, the platform is open for the question. You can ask the question. I hope Arpit sir,
Yes,
you want to
Arpit
ask
sir.
question? Arpit sir, are you there? You want to ask the question? Any other participant, please ask the question. Unmute your mic.
So I think they don't have any question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yes, Arpit.
please.
Arpit, please unmute your mic and ask the question. Arpit sir. Amol sir, do you have the right to Arpit?
No, madam. Participant can unmute by themselves.
So please make the, right now they are able to unmute, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Arpit sir,
I
please.
have a question. Can I ask now?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you for a wonderful session. I really liked the session very well.
Thank
Each
you so
topic
much.
was explained in great detail, and we are really enjoying these sessions. One
Thank you.
question which I have in mind, I am not very sure whether it is relevant, or I just go ahead with the question.
Yeah, please go
When we
ahead.
are when we are talking about human-centered design, and as the technology is advancing, there are sometimes a system taking input from another system, or there is many a times integration of one system with another system. Then
Yes.
in that case, when we are designing a system for another system, then in that case, what design thinking paradigm or what design thinking perspectives that as design thinkers we should take is my question.
Okay. So there are the concept of Internet of Things. I'm sure you
Yes,
are
ma'am.
aware of
Yeah,
Internet of Things.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
so we'll see and find out. There are a lot of experiments done these days to humanize the technology. The technology is speaking to us, giving us signals. So
Correct.
we can take some of the examples of the Amazon products. So the way it listens to our instructions and follows the way. Apple products, Apple has used design thinking in their product. Apple is taking
Correct.
instructions from Siri, is there to take instructions from us. Even the
Correct.
Google artificial intelligence also takes instructions from us. So these are some small examples, and many big things are also coming up. Self drive is also there, which is not, of course, in India, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
there in certain parts. So yeah, technology is trying to bring humanization as much as possible.
Yeah, but in these cases, human user is involved in. If you see Siri or
Yes, yes,
even
yes, yeah,
Alexa,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
My question is a little different, wherein I am talking about integrating two or more systems,
Uh-huh.
wherein one system will talk to another system to take some input or to take some data. In that case, what the other system needs and what the previous system is
Okay,
giving, how we
okay,
can
okay,
synchronize these
okay,
things, and
okay.
that
I'm
will
sure
be.
these are there. What I'll do is I'll try to bring this case in the next class.
Yeah, yeah, that will be great,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other queries? Okay.
Okay.
So I think no more
Yeah.
queries.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for deeper insights on the key aspects of the human-centered design and the cognitive science behind that. The small activities and the games really makes the session really wonderful and cheer up to
Thank
the
you. Thank
participant to make the
you. Yeah.
session very interactive.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for this wonderful session. Uh,
Thank you.
on behalf of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sardar Patel of Institute of Technology, we express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Joyeeta Chatterjee. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you so much. And I will connect again on Wednesday.
Yeah. Just one request, ma'am. Please
Yeah.
share the PPT of this
Yes.
session
Yes.
to
Yes.
me
Yeah.
so
I
that
will. I
we
will.
can share to
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
as well as, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, thank
I'll
you,
log
ma'am.
out too. Okay.
Yeah. So now